And we're off. Yay. All right.
Okay, so I'm Sam.
I'm Mason, and all good shows start with Raikon.
Yay, we did
always
it at
say
the
that
same
wrong.
time.
We did it. Our intro finally.
4 episodes in, we finally got it.
Finally, we did something right.
All right. So today we are talking about End of Love, Love Mechanics, which had their last episode last week. And let's just start by saying, I'm sorry, because people are going to think that this show is only about ragging on boys' love, because our reviews have not always been very nice, but it's not our fault.
I've been thinking that. I'm like, the last, almost all of them, we have not had the most positive reviews of things, which is why I can't wait for next week when we can talk about something we both like. We'll seem like nice people, but I will say, if you're here and you liked Love Mechanics, I'm gonna let you know right now, I did not like it, and I do not have many positives to say. So if you don't want to hear that, I suggest clicking away now. You have been warned. Also, trigger warning for sexual assault and rape. It happens. We got to talk about it. It's a boy's love.
Yes. So I think if you wanted to get the best continuity for our discussion, you really need to watch our review of End of Love, Tosara, because these two stories take place in the same universe and along the same timeline, which right. I wasn't aware until this very morning that the beginning of Love Mechanics happens before Gun and Bar are officially together in Tosara. So this happens, the start of Love Mechanics actually happens before the whole Freshie Awards and the confession on the stage. I found that out because I actually decided to read a little bit of the novel. I only read the first 3 chapters, but in the 3rd chapter is when the Freshie Awards happened, and that is after V and Mark have slept together on the 1st episode.
Okay.
So these are very entwined timelines. So if you want to know kind of where Love Mechanics starts, you kind of need to know where Tosara ended.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we should do a rundown of the plot before we get into it, because it was a mess. This show, I will be honest, I think this is maybe the worst show that I've ever seen, ever. It was worse than Tosara for me. I thought it was worse.
To me, it was worse plot-wise. I think the acting was better, but I think that the plot was an awful plot.
The plot was worse, and I think the bad acting in Tosara kind of makes it almost fun bad. You're like, man, this is so bad, it's kind of good. It shoots the moon and comes back. Not this show. This show was just bad. It was no enjoyment. I only got through it due to my love and commitment for Sam, but man, there would be times that I'd be watching it and my mind would just drift. And I'd be thinking of happier times in my life. And then I'd be like, wait, what the fuck? And I'd have to rewind and be like, okay, I gotta read the subtitles and know what's going on. Man, this show, I don't even know if I could do a rundown of the plot because it's so contrived, and I feel like so much happens, but at the same time, nothing at all. And it was so weird.
Okay, so there's a reason why you feel like so much happened and nothing happened, and that is because I have to give credit where credit is due. Studio Wabi Sabi tried very hard to rescue a story that is irredeemable. Irredeemable. So the story starts with Mark at a bar, very drunk, because he's been rejected by Bar. So in End of Love, Tosara, the main characters are Bar and Gun, and Mark had a crush on Bar, who is the Uke, I think, of the couple, and he gets turned down. And he gets turned down in the meanest way. He's like, the reason I don't want to go out with you is because I don't like you.
I can't believe, that scene still like bothers me because Mark is like, he makes a good point. He's like, you know, you let him flirt with you. Why can't I flirt with you? And Bar's like, well, I like Gunn. And he could have left it at that and like, okay, Mark could have gotten the hint. But then he follows up with, well, I like Gunn and I just don't like you. And it's like, ooh, girl.
It is a harsh friend zoning.
Yeah, you need some aloe for the burn. Like, you okay? Mark's in therapy to this day from that read.
So he's drunk because he's upset that he got turned down. And for some reason, V is at the bar where Mark is drunk. And Mark is like, just pretend like you're bar, or no, be bar for me, and starts kissing V. And V, because he is weird in this show, he's just like, okay, if you want me to be bar, I'll be bar, and ends up taking V to, or Mark, V ends up taking Mark to Mark's room and having sex with him. Now, Mark is super drunk. That needs to be very clear. He's not kind of drunk. He's so drunk that he can't tell who he is kissing drunk.
He thinks he's kissing Bar.
Yeah. So for them to have had sex, it's dubious consent at best, non-consent at worst.
Mm-hmm.
So they wake up the next day and V tells Mark, listen, I fucked you. We don't ever need to talk about it again, and don't say nothing to nobody because I don't want my girlfriend to find out. So for some reason, Mark does that. He doesn't tell anybody. He doesn't bother V. Like, he keeps to himself, but V keeps going to Mark. At first, it's like, I want to make sure you don't have any feelings left over for Bar. Then it's, I want to check up on you because I want to understand why you look at me a certain way. Then it's, I want to bother you when you're with your friends. He keeps inserting himself into Mark's life. But he's still got a girlfriend this whole time. His girlfriend's name is Ploy. And bummer of all bummers, Ploy lives next door to Mark. They live in the same building next door to each other. They practically have a shared balcony. So V is fucking Mark in the room that shares a wall with his girlfriend's room, which is just bad. It's just bad. Well, turns out that Ploy has been getting her fuck on with other people. And V is very hurt about this. Why? I don't know, because you are fucking the guy in the room next door. But he has to have a long conversation with his girlfriend in order to break up with her because feelings. This whole time, he's still fucking Mark. But Mark is hopeful because V tells him, hey, I'm going to go break up with my girlfriend and we can explore our feelings together. Meet me at the bar. So Mark goes to the bar to meet V there because V has said, I'm breaking up with my girlfriend. He gets to the bar and sees V making out with his girlfriend. And V, the best part of the series is that Mark's friends totally punch and slap V because he deserves it.
100%. He earned it. I cheered in my room.
Yes, that was the best part of the whole series. But then he goes to Mark's room and stands outside and is like, I need to talk to you. And Mark is like, I don't want to talk to you. What is there to talk about? And he continues to follow Mark and try to insert himself into Mark's life. And at one point, Mark gets a new boyfriend. And they've been going together for about 2 months. So this is into the future. Somehow or another, the boyfriend goes to the bathroom and never comes back. And Mark and V have a conversation. And the conversation made me so angry because he's like, what happened to the guy who always waits for me? What happens to the guy that always answers my calls? What happened to the guy who loves me more than anybody else in the world?
It is never explained why he was kissing Ploy. Like, it's never like, it was a misunderstanding. She leaned in to kiss me. Y'all came at a bad time. Never explained. It's just...
Yeah, he never apologizes for the kiss.
It's literally just...
Yeah, go ahead.
Why won't you date me?
Yeah, it's like, why won't you be the person that I've been able to use as an outlet for my feelings instead of, I recognize how I did you wrong and I'm sorry for the things that I did that hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the conflict. after that one conversation, they get back together. Just like that. Like literally there were 2, I want to say 10-minute segments of episode 4, and then the entire story was done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's no conflict or anything. He just shows up at Mark's room and starts hugging him. He has Mark hang around with his friends. Mark changes their Facebook status to dating, and then that's it. That's it.
So
and that's the plot.
It's a bad plot. I just want to say real quick about the Facebook thing. All these people, I would unfriend them immediately on Facebook because every single one of these people in the show, they're always like vague posting on Facebook like, oh, can you really love someone if they don't love you back? Like if someone posts that on my timeline, I would unfriend them. Fuck off. Dumb shit. I don't give a shit. And like everyone knows, like this school is weird and like everyone knows everyone's business. Like your tea is everyone's tea. There's even some girl that makes like a weekly web show canon in the show about like who's dating who on campus. And it's like
it's canon in the books too. It's canon in the books.
It's
okay.
Weird.
I'm glad you brought this up because I almost forgot to talk about it. What goes on in Thailand? What's one? Because this is not the first story where people have talked about being like Facebook popular or having a bunch of followers and like the whole school chiming in on who are the cute boys. Because if you recall in Why Are You? The whole thing about Zahn and Safa getting together is because there's a Facebook show about cute boys that promotes this soccer fundraiser they're doing. So I need someone to explain Facebook culture to me in Thailand because I can't see this ever being a viable plot device in America.
No, never.
Like I could almost see it with YouTube. Like I could get it if like, you know, you're popular on YouTube and you go to this school, but that's about as close as I could get to it.
It's not even like a good plot option for Thailand either. Like it's done. They should do away with it.
It's so bizarre and I don't understand it, and it plays a massive role in this story. Like the whole way that V finds out that his girlfriend Ploy is cheating on him is because of this Facebook girl who's like, guess what I saw in the parking lot today? My sources are telling me that the campus star and his girlfriend have broke up. It's like, what is this? Is this like a miniature Wendy Williams? Like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. So thank you for mentioning it because I have questions.
Yeah, I need to know. I have questions about everything in this show. The timeline changes constantly. Like there was a line in, I think episode like 2 or 3, where one of Mark's friends was like, you need to stop pining after him. You've been going after him for a year. And I was like, let's pause here. So has there been some year time skip they just forgot to tell us about? Did they forget to flash the 1 year later title card on the screen? What happened? Or was he in love with him before he went to this school? And like the whole stuff with Bar was just stuff? Like what does he mean he's been in love with him for a year? Also, the third part of the series is a month time skip. They do confirm it's a month time skip, but what's his name? Mark has had a boyfriend for 2 months after the 1 month time skip since they broke up, and then the boyfriend literally goes to the bathroom and he never comes back. You never see them break up. His name isn't even mentioned again. He says, hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And then never again. The episode ends to episode 4 and he's not mentioned.
We have to talk about the bathroom because I feel like they must have condensed a number of chapters into one conversation because Pak, who is the new boyfriend, goes to the bathroom. Then Mark acts like he's worried about Pak going to the bathroom. He gets a call from his friend James saying, yeah, I followed him to the bathroom. I'm about to take him to my apartment. You were literally just sitting on the couch like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
What happened in the bathroom? I don't know. Because they just walked in. Like, they walked in, sat down, had one drink. He had to go to the bathroom, and now he's going home with Mark's friend.
Mm-hmm.
And is never heard from again. There's no talk about breakup, nothing else. It
makes no sense. And when it comes to the cheating thing, sir, you do not get to complain that your girlfriend was cheating on you when you were sleeping with the boy next door, literally, the day before. You don't get to complain.
It's like the gall. How dare you act like you have hurt feelings when you're doing the same thing? Like, literally, This is you. This is you all over.
Mm-hmm.
Except for at least she has the dignity to go outside of where she lives to fuck around.
Yeah. She should name the boy across the street.
Okay, so here's where I'm going to talk about the novel very briefly, because I had said that I wanted to give credit to Studio Wabi Sabi for taking out some really bad parts. I need to talk about the beginning of Love Mechanics. In the first chapter, Mark is drunk, and he gets into a drunken fight with V. He's in and out of knowing who V is. At one point, he realizes it's not P-Bar, but he also thinks it is P-Bar. He's super drunk. V punches him in the parking lot because Mark is trying to kiss him and is like very aggressively trying to kiss him. So after he punches Mark, I guess he feels bad for Mark and takes Mark to his house, like the house where his parents live. So V takes Mark to his house and drags him up the stairs where Mark is kicking and screaming because he wants to go see Bar, and he doesn't know why he's being taken away from Bar. V's brother comes out. His brother's name is Yu, and is like, hey, what's going on? Why do you have this gay guy in your room? And Mark is like, I'm not going to fuck him. He's like, I didn't say you were going to fuck him. I just asked why he's in your room. Mm-hmm. So anyway, he throws Mark on the bed. And Mark still thinks this is P-Bar, I guess. So he starts kissing V and is like, I'm gonna fuck you. And V is like, no, I'm going to fuck you, and proceeds to rape Mark on the bed, no prep. Now, do you remember that when in the morning when they woke up, Mark couldn't talk? Uh-huh. In the book, it's because he had been screaming all night long. And the reason why he said, I'm going to take you to the doctor, is because he had sex with him with no prep, and he was like bleeding and stuff down there. And in the book, after raping him, he says, go ahead and finish yourself off, to make it seem like it was a consensual, both of us like this encounter. And in the book, Mark blames himself for this happening because he was so drunk. And that's where their relationship starts. And this year that passes, that entire year is spent with V going back and forth between Ploy and Mark's rooms, because they're side by side in the book too. But he spends the entire year going back and forth from room to room to room.
Why does Studio Wabi Sabi buy this book? It's shit. Shit. And they made a shit show. Oh my God, that's so bad.
That's the reason why when you were saying, I feel like a lot happened and nothing happened, it's because all the shit that happened that is uber problematic, they tried to take out of the show. But this is a book that should never have been made into a series, because all of the messages are wrong. And it's getting a part 2. They're doing a second book based on this couple. It's already been printed.
No, I don't want it. I don't need it. Get it. Burn it. Actually, don't burn it. That's bad. Don't burn books. But holy shit, that's and it's crazy to me that in Tosara, one of the parts we liked was that everything felt super consensual, and they even had consensual talks, and it was like, good for you, you had the talk, we appreciate. And now it's
like the only redeeming thing from Tosara is that the relationship seemed to be very even-paced and consensual. In this story, it starts out with a rape. Let's just call it for what it is. It starts out with a rape. Mm-hmm. And then they work their way backwards through lying and cheating and deception and everything else to end up in a love relationship.
Right. Mark deserves better, this poor boy was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Like, Mark did nothing to no one. Nothing.
Mark just wanted to date. That's all Mark wanted. Mark wanted a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what he got. And I was almost at the verge of liking this series at the end of episode 3, because if Mark had stayed in his right mind at the end of episode 3 and had decided to never go back out with V and like, I'm serious, we're never going to get back together, this story would have had at least a point. Like, you can injure somebody so much that they can't take you back.
Right.
But the fact that they go to part 4 and they just don't address it at all. There's like, oh, we're in a flirty relationship deciding whether or not we want to be official boyfriends. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Also, let us talk about the fact that episode 4 is 5 parts and only 2 parts are the actual show.
So weird.
I've never seen anything like it. Never. When I saw that it was like part 1 of 5, I'm like, okay, there's obviously some more stuff that needs to happen for them to have a happy ending. So let's talk about it. Let's see the revenge, whatever else.
Right.
And then it just ends at the end of part 2 with them looking at like a light show in a classroom.
That scene was dumb. They're just sitting there. He's like, I have a surprise for you. He blindfolded Mark. V pulls off the blindfold, and he just has like a shitty disco ball with stars on it. And the room is dark. There's nothing else in the room. I don't know where they are. And Mark's like, oh my God, it's magic. And you're like, God damn. This, like, the budget for this show, again, 2 cents. 2 cents.
And like, there was no beer, there was no snacks. Like, it'd be something like, you know, I wanted to take you out to the country to see the stars, but this is the closest I could get. Like, that would even, if they said something like that, that would make sense. Also, he says, I got this idea from you. When did he ever talk about going to see the stars in the entire run of the show?
Never. The writing is so bad in this show. This show, like, genuinely made me mad in how bad it was. Like, oh my God. When I finished it, I just sat there and like stared at the wall and I was like, God, what the fuck was that? I don't even know what to say to it. It's just like none of the characters have any motivation. Like, what does Mark want? I guess he wants a boyfriend, but does he want V? Like, it's not clear what Mark wants. It's not clear what V wants. Does he want ploy? Does he want love? Like, what does he want? Who are you, V? I need to know. Why should I care about these people? Why should Mark take V back? Literally nothing made sense. Literally the only good scene was the scene where Mark's friend sees V kissing Ploy, and it was on sight, punches him, pow, and then Mark runs away, and V tries to run after Mark, and the friend's like, absolutely not. What do you think you're doing? Then another one of Mark's friends comes over and it's like, what's the hubbub? And Mark's friend's like, oh, V over here was making out with Ploy again. And then she went right across the face, and you're like, 2 times. That was it. That was the only time I felt joy in my time watching this show.
It was the only time where I felt like insert reader.
Yeah.
Like that was us. That was us and our feelings. But yeah, like this was a terrible story to begin with. It should have never been made into a series. And it condenses every bad thing about boys love. Like, yes. Literally, this show is the essence of everything that people hate about boys love.
It's sad.
It is I'm not gay, I just want you. It is I can rape you and we can turn that into a love relationship. Mm-hmm. It's all the bad things in one show. And that's what makes it so awful. And I don't understand how Studio Wabi Sabi can do Until We Meet Again and Love by Chance and Love Mechanics.
It's crazy because Until We Meet Again and Love by Chance are both very good shows. I enjoy them a lot. Like, the production value is not even close to either of those shows. I mean, seriously, again, this show was lit by natural lighting. Clearly, they had no money to buy lights. It was sad. A lot of the scenes looked real janky. like just technical production value, bad. The editing was bad. Lots of jump cuts, lots of screen direction issues. Just no. I was so there was this one scene where V is sitting on the phone and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to Ploy now. And that scene pissed me off so much from a technical standpoint. I was tempted to cobble it together and re-edit it and be like, here's how they should fix this scene from an editing standpoint, because this is bullshit. Because like they kept changing the screen direction and it was a lot of jump cuts and it was just bothering me. I didn't even care about the story.
Did you notice that the phone call that V answered was on Mark's phone?
I didn't.
So I watched the rest of episode 4 where they did interviews with the actors, which you have to watch the interview with the Tassara guys. It's infuriating. But anyway, the interview with the leads from Love Mechanics, he says, I forgot my phone to bring to set, so I end up answering Ploy's call on Mark's phone.
Mm.
And I think the jump cuts were to hide the fact that he had the wrong phone, which is dumb.
That wasn't the jump cut issue.
Okay.
That wasn't the jump cut issue. The jump cuts were just bad cuts. Like, they would cut from a medium shot of him talking on the phone to another medium of him talking on the phone just from this side of the room. So, like, screen direction in, like, film and TV is like, if I'm facing left to right, when you cut the camera, I need to still be facing left to right. But when they cut the camera, he'd be facing left to right to left, up and down, left to right. And the only way to like get around that is to move the camera or cut to a neutral, like a still neutral of just just the soda can, and you can rearrange the room after that. But they would cut from a medium, so like this would be kind of a medium close of him looking left to right, and then they'd cut, and it'd be the same shot, just right to left, and you'd be like, why? It's like that Vine. Why? I don't know.
Why? Well, apparently they were encouraged to try to film things in one take.
Because the budget was $0, Sam. The budget was $0. They said, we gotta get this shit done. I'm telling you, they planned this poorly. I think this could have been a good vehicle for them to try something new with some new actors. It could have been that. They picked the wrong series to adapt, and if they were going to use these characters, they needed to make way more changes to this. They stuck too closely to the books. Even though they changed quite a bit, they still stuck too closely to it because the books are bad as a story. And they should have made it 6 episodes total. Or no. Is that math? I go to school for math. 2 episodes for each couple. Yeah, 6 episodes. 2 for Tosara, 2 for Love Mechanics, and 2 for the other people. They would have saved money budget-wise. I think none of these stories need 4 episodes. All of them could easily be done in a 2-hour time limit, honestly. You could have done them in 1 episode. You know, like, because didn't Wabi Sabi do that Reminders series with, like,
yes.
Kay and Pete? Why didn't they just do that with this? Like, the same idea, but with these guys.
I don't know. Also, this is the last End of Love that we're going to see for a minute because of COVID, because they weren't done filming the whole series. So we're not going to see the last third of the trilogy because it wasn't finished filming.
Right.
So this is where it ends for now.
Well, that's good. I don't know if I feel like I can watch the third one.
Yeah, I won't make you watch it unless there's just like a lull and you need something quick. But I am glad that we watched it just so we could talk about how poorly this has gone, because we talked about it when we did Tosara, but we were saying, you know, how because this isn't directed by Pinu, that it feels like Studio Wabi Sabi isn't really owning this series, that this is more of a thing that they're doing to test out what it would be like to work with a different director, rather than them saying, this is where our studio is headed. And I think it was a bad move on their part to put it on their flagship YouTube channel.
Right.
I think if they were going to experiment with this, they should have made it like a subsidiary of Studio Wabi Sabi
Right.
and put it on a different YouTube channel, because now it makes me look at the studio cross-eyed. Also, the fact that they don't promote it on their own Facebook page. It's like,
they're ashamed.
yeah, what is the real relationship here? And if you feel that poorly about this series, if you really think like, this was a bad idea, then you should release it under a different name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if it was a test, it failed. Whatever the director was, I don't want to see him or her. I don't want to see any of these writers back writing again. The only people I don't necessarily want to see more of them, but I wouldn't mind seeing more of them in other shows, would be the actors for Mark, V, and Bar. Those are the only 3 people that I'd be like, if they were cast in another show, I wouldn't groan at it. I'd be like, sure, let's see what they can do with a good script, especially Mark. I think Mark was the best actor out of everyone. I think he had the most nuance, and I think if you gave Mark, the actor for Mark, a good script, he could do well. He's also really attractive, so good for him.
And I agree. That was one of the things I said, like, if I was going to give a positive, it's not the acting that was wrong, because I think that Mark did a really good job, or the guy that played Mark did a really good job of having very expressive eyes. Like, that was the part that I was the most impressed. Like, you could tell how sad he was just by looking at his eyes.
Yeah, there's good nuance there.
Yeah, so that I really appreciated. The guy who played V, he was a much nicer character than the character in the book. And because he played it as kind of like a more conflicted person rather than an outright evil person, you almost felt bad for him. And that is a credit to the actor, because the V from the book can die.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd like to see them being given another opportunity to do something. I'd like to see P. New pick them up and insert them into his Love by Chance universe. But I need to see them do something else, not affiliated with whoever greenlit this shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't really have much else to say about Love Mechanics. I mean, we wanted to pick something that was going to be quick because of limited time, and we did that. But let this be a lesson to all people who are thinking about producing future boys love shows. Just because a novel is popular doesn't mean that it needs to be made. And if you're going to make it because you feel that strongly about the profit-making potential, actually give a fuck about the product. Because you can tell from the amount of views that the series has, especially when you look at like clip by clip by clip, it's not making its money back. It's not. So, you wasted the time of the author, you wasted the time of the actors, and you wasted production money on something that was really half-baked at best.
Right.
All right. So, let's talk about other boys love stuff now. Palate cleanse.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and jump early and talk about my Instagram of the week.
Okay.
My Instagram of the week is B-Boon. It's spelled B-B, the number 0, U-N. He plays Win on Until We Meet Again. He's our favorite. He's our blonde, beautiful boy. He looks like Ilhoon from B2B, which is really weird. They look like identical twins separated at birth.
Well,
Take a look at it.
If Hyuna ever breaks up with Edon, we have a man for her.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. But we love him, and the reason why he's our Instagram pick of the week is because Hemp Rope is confirmed.
God is real. You're listening up there, aren't you, girl? Oh my God, when I saw that, I screamed. I immediately messaged him. I was like, it's a win. We won. We have won. Period. We're getting the Win Team series we deserved.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I'm starting reading the book. I'm not that far in. I'm literally only in the first chapter. But I'm going to read the book because I see that now that there are such big differences sometimes, it's worth my time to read the book, whereas in the past I didn't feel that way. But yeah, I loved the dynamics between Boone and Prem. I thought that they were perfect on screen together. And the fact that they're not only going to be doing Hemp Rope, which is great.
Mm.
But they're gonna be in like some horror movie together too.
Yeah. Was that a movie or was it a series?
I think it might be a movie.
That movie looked like wild, but I kind of wanted to watch it. Like I was like, this seems like fucked up, but like you got me intrigued.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were
Just
going
to watch them make out in a trailer, like that's worth it already.
Oh yeah, they were really going at it. You were like, all right,
Yeah.
let's see what you got.
So I'm excited for them. I think that if they bring on the same director too, I think it's gonna be really, really nice. It's gonna be pretty. I want to watch more. Give me more. But yeah, I'm very excited. Also because their relationship starts and ends with consent. Like after reading the first chapter of the book, there was never any like we were drunk and somebody was raped. It was always like, I think you're hot. Let's fuck around. And now let's see if we could turn this fuck around thing into a relationship.
Yeah, I like that. I love where they ended up at the end of Until We Meet Again. I love that scene where they're like, he's like, oh, I want on your coffee order because I want to be able to like bring you coffee. It was like cheesy, but it was super sweet. So I love that scene. The scene with the mistletoe, of course, was great. And it keeps these people booked and busy. I really loved everyone in Until We Meet Again. And I'm glad Fluke is booked and busy. You know, I'm sure he'll be in Hemp Rope. Dean, hopefully he'll be back. And, you know, I hope Hemp Rope takes some time to give some love to our good sis, Sammy, and give her the man and the time she deserves. Like the one hetero relationship that really deserves some time. These boys.
From your lips to God's ears. Because first of all, we're both Samanthas. So already I'm rooting for my girl. But secondly, like she's just in Love by Chance, even in Lovesick, which I know you didn't watch, she has always been the standout female actress. Like she just has personality and she seems like the kind of girl that makes sense in these friend groups. There's some times where you'll have like a group of guys and one woman and you'll be like, why is she a part of this friend group? Because she kind of doesn't make sense. Right. Whereas Sammy always makes sense. She seems like the girl that the gays would love to hang out with because she gets it.
Right.
And she's not friends with them because, oh, it's so fun to have a gay best friend. No, they're friends with her because that bitch is wild and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I want to hang out with her. Damn.
Yeah. So, you know, and I love it. Like their friendships are genuine. She's just, I really love her. And I just want to see good things happen for her. And it really pisses me off because I looked at my drama list. She's never a romantic character in any of the work that she does. She never gets a guy. This was literally the first project she's had where like she gets a guy. And I don't know if it's because she's heavier than the traditional female leads. She's not fat. She's not obese. Like if you look at her, she looks like a normal girl, but she's heavier than most of the normal Thai female leads. And she kind of plays her characters a little bit more comedic, a little bit more broad. Right. But yeah, she's never the romantic lead in anything. She's always that girl on the side who can never get a guy. And so
it's a shame. She deserves, like, she's like so charming and pretty and like nice. You just want her to like win. You want her to win.
Like you should be so lucky if she decides she wanted to go with you because she's cute. And if you look at her Instagram, she serves looks.
Yeah, she's really pretty.
So Hemp Rope is the great news of the day. Other series that are possibly in development is a series called Absolute Zero, which is being picked up by Wabi Sabi, I think. And it's a time jump type of a story. Yeah. I'll let Mason talk about that briefly.
I don't remember the plot completely, but it was like these two guys, they've been together for like 10 years, I think. They were like, they're like out of college now. One of them gets into a car accident and like almost dies. I forget if he dies or almost dies. And then his partner's like, I can't live with the pain. And he goes back in time to like try and stop them from ever getting together. Yeah, I don't know. The plot didn't grab me. I thought it sounded kind of unfun and like just depressing. It just sounded depressing, honestly.
So I'm convinced that Asia loves time jump stories because I've watched at least 3 boys love centric stories with the exact same plot line. History Obsession has a plot line very similar. There was another movie I saw where it had a plot line that was super similar. And there was one other thing that I saw that was kind of like, if you go back in time and you change things, then one of us has to die. So if you change the timeline, one of us has to die regardless.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the plot line. So the plot line basically is these 2 people are lovers. One of them dies right before an anniversary. And so he tries to jump back in time so that they never get together, so that the one never dies. But if he does that, then he'll die. And it just keeps going back and forth over and over again. Oh, I know what the other one was. That porn movie I sent you had a very similar plot line. Do you remember the one where the gay dad had a son and the son commits suicide? So the dad keeps going back in time to try to prevent the son from committing suicide.
Yes. That was fucking wild.
Okay, so maybe TMI for those of you who watch us. But there is this Thai softcore porn movie, and I'm calling it what it is because there's some very graphic scenes for this movie. But it basically is this guy who him and his male lover were going to adopt a baby, or they had a surrogate have their baby. The surrogate finds out that they are gay, and she tries to run off with their baby, and as they're chasing her, the one partner dies. So gay dad is raising his son alone, and I guess because the whole neighborhood knows he's gay dad and he brings guys home whenever his son is at school, the son gets picked on relentlessly at school. So the son has a boyfriend. The boyfriend is the son of the restaurant owner downstairs, and they go together. Well, apparently something happens, and the restaurant son and one of the people who lives in their same apartment complex are murdered, and right after that, the son jumps off the roof and commits suicide because his boyfriend was one of the people murdered. A day or so after the funeral, a strange man shows up and tells gay dad, I'm going to give you the opportunity to jump back in time 24 hours to try to save your son's life. And so gay dad jumps back in time, but for some reason he's still not successful. And he gets several opportunities to jump back in time to try to save his son. Well, in the end, he finds out that the reason why his son's lover and the neighbor next door died is because his son killed them. His son is like a complete psychopath and killed them and is like, it's all your fault because I'm your gay son and look what happened to my life and this guy lied to me and I hate gays. It's really bizarre. But he jumps back in time again. The dad jumps back in time again. And the way he's able to stop his son from killing the neighbor and the restaurant owner's son is by intercepting the knife and getting stabbed himself. And after that, the son realizes the error of his ways. The dad and the son live, and happy ending.
That son's still a fucking serial killer.
Yeah, there's still something very wrong with him because he showed up to the apartment in the rain poncho.
Yeah, no, it's shady. It's like we need to make sure he does not have any animal pet. Like he's not allowed to have pets. That's where it begins.
Therapy is needed for everybody here. Everyone needs to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Y'all need to move out too, by the way. You don't need to stay at that apartment complex anymore. You need to move out.
Yeah. Find somewhere else.
But yeah, that was the other time jump story that I was thinking of that I couldn't remember. But yeah, apparently that's like a big thing around there to do time jumps. And, you know, I don't have any problem with time jump stories. It's just, I don't like a story where the time jumps don't change the outcome. Like if we're going to do the time jumps, I want the outcome to change. But if time jumping, somebody's still going to die anyway, then what's the point?
To be sad.
I don't want to be sad like that. I mean, I'm not the kind of person who likes sadness porn. It's not my deal. It's not.
Oh yeah, that's why I not super looking forward to that series. I mean, it's Studio Wabi Sabi, so I feel like you got to pay attention to it, but you know, it's just been announced, so we can't speak on it too much if whoever watched it or not yet.
Watch us find out that it's the same team from End of Love who's doing Absolute Zero, and Absolute will not watch.
Absolutely not. Never again.
So next week we will be talking about Together, the series. I know we're both looking forward to talking about Together because we love Together so much, but I think our love was predicated on the first 6 episodes. Things have taken a turn on Together. Please don't shit the bed on this last episode. Please don't.
I've actually not watched episode 12 yet because I'm like, I know it's gonna be some bullshit and I'm gonna be mad. And so
it's not as bad as everyone on Twitter is saying it is, but it still is nonsensical when you know the character traits of the main characters. You're like, this is completely out of character. Why are you like this? I spent a lot of time telling myself, why are you like this?
Right. I will say I was happy to see Miss Plyfa from He's Coming to Me because I really liked her in that show. I thought she was a good character. Well, until the end of that show, her character made some bad choices with the grandpa. But we should do an episode on He's Coming to Me. But I liked her. I think she's really pretty. So it was nice that she's booked again.
Yeah, you're not lying. We really do need to do a review of He's Coming to Me because that is a series where I have mostly positive things to say. There are very few negatives I have to say, lots and lots of positives.
Right.
Also, a couple of the guys from He's Coming to Me are the friend characters in Together. Right. So that's really nice. It's really nice to see them kind of be inserted into more stuff. But I think all of them are under GMM TV, and so that's the reason why there's so much.
Probably.
But yeah. I'm excited for that. Also, next week is the last episode of My Engineer.
It can't be.
You were so young.
Yeah, after this, the first thing I'm doing is going to watch My Engineer because the episode's out. And I'm like, and the trailer had Bram with like 3 big fluffy dogs. And I was like, this is all I want. Give it to me.
I need the Boys Love community to come together and establish that My Engineer is the story for all of us. There are so many good things that go on in My Engineer, and it gets my goat. Like, we're arguing about rape tropes in Tharn Type. We're arguing about all these other things that we don't like. Meanwhile, My Engineer is sitting here being great, being awesome every single week, and no one seems to want to talk about it. Is it that we just don't like good people?
I don't know. I feel like every time I watch an episode, I just think of that Michelle Obama video where she's like, you have done it again. Constantly raising the bar, proving excellence. Because it is the best Boys Love so far this year. We are almost halfway through the year. It is the best Boys Love so far. I'm sorry, Together stands. It's the truth. Together is a close second, but it's My Engineer. I mean, she's the one.
Yeah, she is the ultimate. She's the everything.
Mm-hmm.
She's the supreme. Like she's
I am the supreme.
She is. She just the relationships are consensual, they're understanding. Rhyme and King needs to be an entire series of their own. That super slow build. The moment, okay, last week you watched the episode before I did, so I didn't get to watch it until after, and I didn't get a chance to say about like how impactful it was when they were sitting in that little pagoda, and he was just like, I just want you to know, I just want to talk. If you want to talk, I want to listen. I just want to be here for you. Like, a lot of times we don't understand what it is about each other's personality that draws them together because the romance feels so quick. But that was one of those moments where you're like, I can see why you fell in love with this person because
absolutely.
It's you. And
then the scene, like, right afterwards where he's, like, about to say it, but then he leaves, and you're like, oh.
Yes! Yeah. I'm like, oh, please say it in the next episode. Please tell him what's going on. You need somebody to lean on.
Yeah.
Like, they are the relationship that I have always wanted to see in Boys Love, and I have never seen before.
Right.
And I just feel like for those people who want a real and soft and great Boys Love romance, this is the couple. This is your time. Embrace it.
Yeah.
Because it is that good.
It's real soft boy hours.
It is, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh God, I love them so much. I love them so much. Both of them have been my Instagram of the week because I love them so much.
Yeah, 3 episodes and they've both been chosen.
Yeah, Perth was our first one, which Perth is perfect. And then Palate was last week. But yeah, like they do no wrong in my eyes. You can't tell me anything about My Engineer. It is perfect. I think the reason why it doesn't get a lot of play is because there's not a lot of sexy moments, and that really sucks. Because this story would be weird if it had a bunch of sexy moments.
It would be, but like Together also doesn't have a lot of sexy moments, you know?
And I think that they get a pass because of GMM TV. Like, that's gotta be it. It's gotta be the GMM TV thing, because outside of that, this show doesn't have many sexy moments. I think there's only been like, has there even been a kiss in this entire show?
I don't think so, but it doesn't feel like I've needed one yet. Because
I haven't needed one.
I mean, it would be nice. I'm not gonna lie. I would love it. I would love to see Bone and Doin' kiss. I think it'd be real nice. Same with Ram King. I hope that for the last episode. But it just feels like these couples are so well written and they work so well together as like a couple that like it just feels like I don't need that from them.
Yeah.
Because like
I like watching them talk.
Yeah. Like I love when Bone and Doin' just hang out. I love when they get their, they get their young siblings together and they just cook and just it's wholesome. It's a good time, you know?
Yeah. So I mean, I know we're supposed to talk. I'm glad we had this conversation about My Engineer because it kind of cleanses me from all the grossness of love mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when we get to the episode where we talk about My Engineer, be prepared to sit down for a while because we have all of the good things to say about this show.
Opening scene, great. Second scene, the colors, amazing. You know?
The set. Oh my gosh, the set. Okay.
we need to save room for it.
That. Woo!
Yeah, so now it's gonna be a long episode probably.
Hell yeah. All right, well, I guess that's all for today. Again, check out Boone, BB, the number 0, the letter U, the letter N on Instagram, and enjoy something positive today to kind of erase the memory of what was love mechanics.
Yeah, try and take a walk. Do something nice for yourself. It's a lovely day in LA at least, so hopefully it is by you too. It looks sunny over in Colorado, so.
Oh, it's gorgeous. The wind is just lightly blowing. The sun is shining. The air smells fragrant because the trees have started blooming. Like it's really nice out here.
That sounds nice. It's just, it's Satan's butt crack up in LA, so it's pretty, but it's hot.
I'm sorry. It's the humidity.
No, yeah, my mom calls me and she's like, it's raining and cold in Chicago. And I'm like, we need to switch locations because that sounds really nice right now.
It's hard to be a fat bitch when it's hot outside.
Mm-hmm. This is my fan and I'm like, I can't wait when we're done to turn it back on.
All right, well, let's turn it off so you can get some relief. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching.